shit ass. What the hell just happened? That was weird.
Are we?
We are live.
Okay.
Welcome to Evilive.
I wonder. Well, at least on YouTube, it looks like it's coming across better than on fucking Skype.
Man,
Jesus.
that was weird. This is the live media commentary show that answers the question, where can you meet the deer spirit? Subscribe if you're new to the channel, because today we are reviewing Season 3, Episode 3. Is it Episode 3?
Yeah, it's Episode 3.
Episode 3.
Episode fucking 3.
I can't believe... hold on, let me finish this. Of FX's Reservation Dogs, title Dear Lady. Okay. God damn it, I can't believe they went there. But
dude, it's fucking heavy, man, because honestly, it's something that's really not talked about very much. At least it hasn't been in my experience. Because like we were talking with last episode, it's like my generation knows at least one person that has gone through this shit.
Yeah.
Like it's something that's still fresh in the fucking, collective consciousness that is, the country. And holy shit, man, that was fucking real, and that was fucking heavy. I was a mess afterwards.
Yeah. What I'm afraid is the takeaway from, arguably all white people, just to paint a fucking broad brush, is that they're not going to realize that that's real. Like, that's because it's paralleled to the mythology of the Deer Lady, and that has this sort of supernatural, paranormal sort of vibe to it, mythological vibe. And so they're going to extrapolate, well, then this other part of it is the same. And it's not. Like, there's one side of this that is horrendously real, and the other side of it is mythological. And understanding the boundary between those two is incredibly important when telling a story like this. I guess maybe my first question before we even get into anything, do you think they clarified that line enough?
Oh, I think so. I think it also kind of explained more who and what the Deer Lady is. Because and I'm really generalizing people, so don't take me as like some expert on Indians, because I'm fucking one kind of Indian amongst
He's an
a lot.
People.
But I mean, that is a pretty common kind of tale where somebody is wronged in some sort of way, and they essentially become a tulpa, in a sense. So it's, I think they explained her coming about the way she did, as well as, shined a light on what happened. Like, that's not fantasy at all. That's shit that was common as fuck. Like, it's so real that anytime, like, with my father, who is full-blooded Navajo, he's the one who went to boarding school and all that shit. It's stuff he won't talk about. He can't talk about. I mean, I had a heart-to-heart with him last night, and that was the closest he's ever come to telling me the kind of shit he experienced. Oh, wow. And I really didn't get anything. And it was like you could see the pain on his face as he's telling. And this is something that happened 60 fucking years ago. So it's... I really do hope people understand that as fantastical as all that shit was, that is legit American history.
Yeah. Yeah. I love how you phrase that. This is American history. This is not Native people's history. This is what was perpetuated upon the Native peoples by American colonials. This is our expression of manifest destiny.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
Literally, and this didn't even go as bad as it gets. Like,
no.
That's horrible.
No,
but it gets worse.
Yeah, you look at all the unmarked graves, like up in Canada that were found recently. Like, they're still finding bodies. Yeah. And this is just hundreds upon hundreds of kids that just had no fucking chance because of the color of their skin.
That's what gets me. Adults had their chance. You fuck up as an adult, you deal with the consequences. And that's not to paint a broad stroke saying that everything that happened to Native peoples was earned, because it's not. But they also weren't innocent amongst each other. So it's not like there's like good guys and bad guys here.
No, not at all.
But children are fucking kids. You don't fuck with kids. Like, in any capacity. You encourage kids. You nurture kids. You you inspire imagination and discovery in kids. You don't shut them down and fucking beat them and literally murder them, which is what happens.
Well, and that wasn't even the worst of it too, and it insinuates it in this, and it's like that's how it was. A lot of kids lost their virginity that way.
Yeah, just brutal,
it's fucking disgusting,
fucking child rapes, and like it's an active, ongoing thing in the Catholic Church, but it is a historically practiced thing in any sort of institutional, educational institutional program. I mean, we see this in boarding schools where there are graves even in fucking European kids' boarding schools. Like, this is just something that sick humans do to fucking children, and it's disgusting. And the fact that I think I don't know how to frame this, because Reservation Dogs isn't a comedy, though it's funny. It's not a drama, though it has dramatic elements to it. I don't know what it is. All I know is it's an impactful narrative that pulls on some of the best of what humanity offers and showcases some of the worst, and in the same moment, some of the most sorrowful aspects.
Well, the easiest way to sum it up, like kind of the way I look at it, is it's a modern folk story. Because I mean, traditional native cultures, like the ones that aren't written or anything like that, it's all an oral history. That's what all stories are. It is all encompassing. You're gonna laugh, you're gonna cry, but there's a story to the end. And I mean, it sticks with that really, really well.
It's genuinely beautiful. I fucking love this goddamn show.
Yeah.
All right, that being said, this is directed by Denis Goulet, written by Sterlin Harjo. It, of course, released this past August 9th. And it's really about Bear finding his way home, intercoupled with the meeting of the Deer Lady, who we actually saw a flash of in previous season.
Yeah.
Which I made zero connection with, and Shauna was the one who's like,
really?
"Oh, she was there." And I was like, "What? Oh my gosh, I totally forgot about that," because it was just brief.
Yeah, no, it was season 1. Because of fucking goddamn it, what's his name? The cop.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really hoping that this is how they start the kind of tying up thing with the cop's story arc. Because like in the first season, we get all the mystical, spooky shit, like the catfish heads, his run-in with the Deer Lady and why he went down the path he did. So I'm really hoping, especially because they knew going into it, at least I'm pretty sure they did, that this was going to be the final season, that they finally wrap up that story arc and explain what he was seeing and why she was brought why she was brought around.
I was so hyper-focused on the kid's story with Daniel that I completely glossed over all of that. I got to rewatch that whole season just so I can...
It's solid, man. It is so solid. It still holds up. I've been rewatching it.
I mean, it's great. It's genuinely great. Everything about this is fucking genuinely goddamn great. And so this iteration of the Deer Lady, the sort of vibe I got from this was that this is just this version of the Deer Lady. Like, there are, through history, different versions of the Deer Lady. There's this sort of ethereal deer spirit that sort of meets her and offers her an opportunity at salvation, but that comes with a price, as everything in life does. And that means you have to serve X purpose. And for her, it was vengeance on those that have committed harm on children. And I don't know how deep that goes or how much grander it is. And I don't even know if you know or not, but I mean, are you familiar with that mythology?
I mean, from the mythology brought up with the show, like from the beginning, it was just, she is vengeance incarnate towards bad men. Yeah. Like that's how it was sort of explained in the first season. And obviously we really get it with this, with her as a child experiencing the horrors of boarding school and all that.
Yeah. I think there's something genuinely beautiful about the instrument of vengeance not being an otherworldly entity in and of itself, but rather a human who experienced it and then is offered an opportunity to be a symbol of vengeance.
Yeah. I mean, that just seems fucking real.
Yeah, it really does.
Like, instead of some big bad coming down from the sky and fucking shit up, like, you know, somebody who has crossed the brink of what humans can handle, and they get a nudge from the other side, essentially.
There's so much wrapped into this. Like, not only is it showcasing, Christian religion in its true light.
Yeah, like pure fucking Catholic
monsters.
Yeah.
Which from the beginning they have always been, and we need to stop pretending that there's nice aspects of it. Yeah, but there's abject evil.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you can find nice aspects to anything.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, taking it to reality with me, like, my father, who went through all this shit, explained like why he's Mormon, and I actually appreciated it. Like,
What?
Well, the thing is, he was in this kind of situation, and because of the program that was done in the 60s and 70s, well, I believe it was like through the 50s and 80s, where affluent Mormons from this area would essentially adopt somebody. And the thing is, he was given that opportunity, and that's what got him out of the boarding school system, and that's what gave him, a real life, essentially. I mean, granted, it was to acclimate him and, do the thing that's always been supposed to have been done, kill the Indian, save the man. But he explained that in such a way that it's like, fuck, I don't agree with the religion at all,
right?
But I fully fucking understand and appreciate why it's so important to you.
Yeah. That's heavy, because that's personal experience. You can't argue personal experience. That's just how he felt in that moment, and continues to this day. So
yeah, it's a trip.
it's insane is what it is. And I can't believe this show addressed it in this way. There's so many different aspects to sort of reinterpret this episode. I mean, we're watching her as she is experiencing being taken from what she knows as family and forced into what appears to be a religious orphanage, which is very similar, in my uneducated experience, as a concentration camp. This is literally a re-education camp to remove who and what they are and turn them into good little white Christian children.
Yeah, that's 100% what it was.
And it's not done through love and caring. It's not done through hugs and kisses. It's done through fucking punishment and suffering and pain, and in some cases, rape, physical abuse, in most cases, physical abuse, and death. Literally so much so that they're gardening right next to the fucking graves being dug.
Yeah.
The fucking juxtaposition of growing life to showcasing death is so incredible and just stark. You can't help but feel pain watching it.
Yeah, it is. As beautifully shot as this entire series is, it's fucking difficult, man.
Yeah.
It's so fucking hard. Like, even if you have no ties to any of this, just being a human, if this doesn't affect you, there's something fucking seriously wrong with you.
Yeah, something seriously broken.
Yeah.
And so, aside from that pain that we all, I think, deservedly watched, and not in like some sort of like weird modern restorative justice kind of way, but just in the fact that this is a historical event that we need to acknowledge.
Oh shit, Sean is here.
But also, they threw in the part that is my personal favorite, which is infinitely better than the pain, which is the mythology. I love not just, for indigenous, like North American peoples, but just general human mythology. Yeah. And I love the idea that there is this wilderness spirit that exists that doesn't necessarily pass judgment, just offers opportunity. and this is something that you can sort of extrapolate to literally every human culture,
Yeah,
where it's
absolutely.
just if you are a people who have been oppressed, you will create stories on how to prevent said oppression. And I thought it was beautifully done, and it reminded me of Neil Gaiman's American Gods.
Yeah,
I
that straight up
loved it.
was like American Gods,
Yeah,
man. Holy shit.
and I dig that shit like a lot. So I loved watching this ostensibly deer spirit come out of the wilderness while she's trying to run away and escape the fucking horrid religious institution.
Mm-hmm.
And he just offers her in this insane scene an opportunity. And
Yeah.
she doesn't know that she could probably still get away, but the pain that she has seen and is afraid to experience personally is too much to bear as a child, and so she accepts the opportunity. And what I interpreted, and you tell me if you felt the same way, it didn't feel like the adult version of her was 100% on board. Like she knew she had to do it, she knew they deserved it, but she was a little hesitant.
Hesitant.
Reticent is the word I was looking for.
There we go.
But
That's
hesitant also
it.
works. She wasn't 100% in because there's just a touch of humanity in her still. And no matter what she experienced, no matter what she saw, there's still an aspect of her humanity left in this supernatural being that she's become. And I thought that was so beautiful. Did you get that vibe?
Yeah, absolutely. Like especially the moment where like she's at the dude's fucking house. Like presumably this is the final person to complete her level of vengeance.
Yeah.
And so it's like I couldn't tell if it was just the sheer, the fact that she is still human underneath all of this. And I mean, it's just like if anybody has gone on a fucking like just throwing a fit spree of, fuck this person, fuck that person, like just cutting everybody off. It feels great initially, but then you start to realize what you're doing and the brevity of everything. And it just starts to gut the fuck out of you, especially when you know that you still have to keep going with stuff. So it's like, I got that. And then, yeah, it's like also does that mean her, for lack of a better term, but is her mission over?
Right.
And does that mean that she disappears into the ether after this? What happens? So it's it was definitely conflicting. Like she's there for a reason. She has to do this, but she almost doesn't want to. And part of the reason why I feel like it's almost her being her towards the end of her life cycle is as she's in the gas station cleaning up the antler that she's been killing everybody with, it fucking breaks. And it's like, that's a metaphysical object. So how the hell is it like just starting to disintegrate? So I wonder where that's going to go.
That's interesting. So would you be disappointed if we never saw her again?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
So you think
like
there's
I said,
going to be
man,
some sort of resolution?
I really, if for nothing else, for the fucking cop. I'm drawing a blank on his name right now, but like
Officer Big?
Yeah. But it's like I want to see that story arc that we got in season 1 wrap up. Because like that's all I've been thinking about since fucking season 1. Like what was it, episode 2? I think 1.
Yeah, it was like out of left field.
Yeah. So it's like I really want to see how that ends, and I feel like she's going to be a big part of it.
See, and from my perspective, I wouldn't mind if we never saw her again. I thought the complexity of the character was presented in a way that there's no good solution. There's no good resolution that we could witness to make us feel like, oh, that's great. Like her existence was enough to drive a character into being a protector of the peace. Should be. Not to make a comment about him, but just in general. But also, she got to see her vengeance. She got to enact what needed to happen in her generation. And I'm going to bring up some childish shit here in a second, but before I get there, I thought that she was complex enough. I don't think she knew whether she was eternal or not. I don't think she knew what she had to do to finish, and if she finished, if that meant she was going to die or ascend to some other whatever, or go on eternally or anything. I think she was just almost like a machine. She made a bargain. She has to complete said bargain, but doesn't know what comes next. And I love the ambiguity of it. And if I get like a full answer, I'm afraid that I might not be satisfied. I just like the emptiness because it's mythology, because it's not real, because it's who fucking knows. Mm-hmm. And I like not knowing sometimes.
Yeah, no, I can definitely appreciate that, because I mean, yeah, of course, it just leads into, you know, you're always going to remember her because you're always going to wonder what if and, you know, what next. So I can definitely appreciate that. It's mostly I just want to see the story that was started in season 1. I want to see how that ends, and if she's a part of it, cool. If not, her fucking story has been told. We don't necessarily need any more. Like, I would love more.
Sad. Yeah.
But well, not of that. Like, I am not in a good place to finish that kind of shit. That is like, that really like legit fucked me up this episode. I have not had a movie, a show, anything hit me this fucking hard in a very long time. Like, it fucking got me.
It was beautiful. It really was. So I want to throw in my childish thing because I'm me.
Hell yeah, let's do this.
I'd fuck the shit out of that dear lady.
Oh, well, duh, of
fuck,
course.
She is goddamn gorgeous. When she was eating that pie, fuck me.
Yeah.
That was all I wanted in life. I need to buy my wife some fucking hoof shoes, and I need to get some pies, and we're going to live a fantasy.
I was going to say, it wouldn't be that hard to make it, man. I may or may not have looked into doing shit like that before, so whatever.
She's goddamn gorgeous the whole time. I was just like, Bear, what the fuck, dude? This is your chance. Take it. Take it.
I mean, he'd probably die.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
But it'd be worth it. It'd be a good way to go. God damn it. It'd be a good way to go. Oh, fuck. Yeah, I mean,
I think worse ways.
But like, okay, so let's just talk a little bit about Bear here, because ultimately all of that devastation was a vehicle to get Bear home. Mm-hmm. Like, that's literally what it was. And so Bear gets to the diner. Everyone's indifferent, as all humans are. We're apathetic and horrible in general. Mm-hmm. And so he's just like, fuck, can I at least get a glass of water? Like, I'm dying here. And then she sees him. She is an instrument of vengeance. But even in that, there seems to be a glimmer of humanity of who she was. And she witnesses someone that is going through something and then just reaches out. I don't think it's something as stupid and simple as, I can't finish these pies, and so let me just let this kid come in. It's very much, I see pain. I've experienced pain. I want to address it. Not solve it, not be a hero, not condemn it, but I just want to acknowledge it. And I feel like they had that shared connection where she was literally in a place of, I got to let him know who and what I am, not to terrify him or to threaten him.
I fucking love that, man.
Oops.
Like, so much so that I fucking bought it.
Oh, no way!
Yeah. And let me tell you, people, this specific cover, sorry, let me get it in the screen. This specific cover is a motherfucker to find.
Wow.
If you're trying to find it used, which I usually try to buy used books. So, yeah, motherfucker to find.
Can I address that really quick? Because I think it's important. Printing industry is a direct correlation with deforestation. Mm-hmm. You know, the things that keep us alive. So maybe just buy used in every opportunity.
And it smells so much better. It smells like love and happiness.
Or dust and human skin. But either way.
Same fucking thing. Whatever. It takes me back to childhood and happiness.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I will usually buy used unless there's no possible way to.
I'm a big library and then used book fan.
Yeah.
Like those two avenues I think are just gold. Yeah,
going to used bookstores, man, I can sit there for hours and just fucking huff the aroma.
Well, I go for the books, but
I go for the books too, obviously. But the ambiance, the
There's
smell,
the guy that's like
great. I mean, I may or may not have been banned from places for doing that.
That would be hilarious.
That would be fucking great.
No Christian bookstore allows me in. I have my picture on the wall like at a post office on a wanted sign.
So funny thing is, there's a bookstore out in Bountiful it's not quite a Mormon bookstore, but it's basically a Mormon bookstore. And for a hot minute there, I was a regular fixture. Like each week I was there,
That's
and they
awesome.
and they loved me there. It was fucking hilarious. They were scared the first couple of times, but then when they realized I'm walking out with like literal boxes of books each time, they warmed up to me.
Yeah. Shauna called you a book huffer.
Yeah, and straight up, I
Not
am.
heifer, huffer. Could be worse. So Bear is rightfully so,
Mhm.
freaked the fuck out. It would be weird, right? Like meeting any mythological creature. Like you just show up in a diner and Bigfoot's there, and he's like, "Hey, come here, sit down." You're just like, are you gonna kill me? Are you gonna rip my arm off like a Wookiee? Like I don't know how to do this. This is not normal. I thought it was great. I thought he handled it great. In the fact that his initial instincts were totally understandable. Like, use her till I can get the fuck out of here. You know, I need a charger. She has a car with a charger. She's gonna feed me. I need all of the above. So I'm gonna hang around until I can just escape. You know, we sort of saw that in the last episode too. And in the same way of the last episode, we saw his compassion as a human being come through. And with compassion comes perspective in the best cases, I would say. Not always. And I love the fact that he saw her. When she came back, first of all, I would not act the way he did. She came back blood caking her hands with like chunks. And like her fur jacket was all bloody and shit. At this point, he knew who and what she was. Surface level, not like to the depth, but she comes back. There's no denying what just happened. And he's just like, I see you. Okay.
Yeah. Did you kill him?
I mean, fuck.
Okay.
Like, what are you going to do? Clearly they deserved it. You are this mythological creature that does what you do. And so obviously you're not going to kill me because I'm not a fucking monster. Like, I thought it was so great. And the nonchalance that eventually rolled off of him when the twins were like, "Oh, look at her, like the great girlfriend." He's like, "That was the deer lady," and they're like, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought this was a beautiful fucking episode. It was crazy, very emotional, very thrilling. What did you have a favorite part?
Fuck. Saying there's a favorite part is heavy. I mean.
I like the abuse.
My honestly, yeah. My favorite part is hold on. My favorite part is that a completely different demographic of the country, even perhaps the world, is going to see the reality that natives of this continent, were victims to.
Right.
So I didn't fucking love it.
Right.
But it was my favorite part because it's American history, and it's something that you're not going to fucking find in history books or in school.
Yeah, which is really fucked up, actually, because it's the truth. And I don't think the object of education systems are truth.
Straight up, Shauna.
Oh, what'd you say? You like how they mentioned they can't take your smile anyway? Oh, smile away. Yeah. The object of educational systems is to indoctrinate you into the culture of the country. It's not to teach you objective thought. That's, in the best cases, what colleges are supposed to do, but just individual learning is the best avenue of.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't know anyone who knew about shit like this until I started talking to you, and like the only way I knew about this was just through random occurrence of fucking random books or documentaries. Like, it wasn't like it was a pathway of learning. It was literally just curiosity about native peoples. And that was it. And then you suddenly realize what fucking happened, and you can't not look at the reality of it. You can't not address it or bring it up to other people. You have to fucking address it. And the fact that it's not history, it's reality still in some aspects. Like, fuck. Why isn't this taught in schools? Why we have U.S. history as a class for kids, And this is never once brought up.
Dude, even like taking local history, like state history in high school and stuff, so much shit isn't brought up. Like for
Yeah.
our state specifically, the atrocities, the indigenous people, or even to the Japanese culture,
Right.
like in the during the fucking war and shit. Like a lot of people don't even realize that there was a fucking concentration camp up in my neck of the woods. Like it's one of the better neighborhoods at this point, or better towns up in northern Utah, and it's like the entirety of it was a fucking concentration camp for Japanese people.
Yeah.
And they were American fucking citizens.
Yeah, that's the worst part.
Mm-hmm.
Is it simply because Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, ex facto, all Japanese are terrorists?
Yeah,
That's
and
literally the thinking.
There was a lot of motherfuckers that were walking into that concentration camp wearing their fucking uniforms from when they fought in the war. Like,
Unbelievable.
American-born citizen, decorated soldier, and yeah, no, I'm gonna be in a fucking concentration camp because
we called them internment camps because it's prettier.
yeah, it's a lot prettier internment camp.
It's not so egregious sounding because that would make us as bad as the other humans, and we can't be as bad as them. So.
No, of course not. The Nazis were their own thing, not Americans.
It's so fucking ridiculous. The whole human experience is fucking stupid and ridiculous. But to pretend it didn't happen or to outright ignore that it happened, I think is the most egregious aspect to it.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
And it's not to say good or bad or judgment or anything on anyone that's come before us, because I don't fucking care, quite frankly. All I know is it did happen and we have to address it. So hopefully, if there is a shiny world out there, it won't fucking happen again.
Right?
But
It's
if we
like
keep pretending, then we'll never know.
Yeah, that's the old adage. You need to learn history so it doesn't fucking repeat.
Yeah. I'm going to go a little more shallow and say that just the sexiness of Dear Lady was my favorite part. She was very 70s vibe for me.
Yeah.
And that onesie she was, that fucking single 70s outfit she was wearing really worked for me. Like, in a big, bad way. I've got a type now. I didn't know what it was before, but it's real.
You need to start watching Letterkenny then.
Apparently. I've heard, you're not the first person to say that. Yeah, my nephew Keith, he brought that up too. I was like, you got to talk to fucking Cameron because he's definitely seen it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So is your most favorite your least favorite?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like it's just like I said, man, I haven't had something fuck me up this bad in years.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I've had something hit this hard since my mom died, and I watched Battle Royale. Like that. I think this was even harder than that, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, it's rough because I'm glad it was showcased.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was my least favorite part. When they were dragging that boy out, fuck me. Mm-hmm. I was so upset at the goddamn character. Like the woman, she's just an actor. She's doing her actor job. But I wanted to fucking strangle her ass. Like, I was so goddamn angry. I was like, you fucking whore! I'll kill you! I was so mad. Poor woman. I'm sure some insane people out there are fucking lashing out at her for no reason because it was a role.
Of course. Yeah, because people can't separate fiction from reality. Yeah. It's like, this shit is based on reality, but it's not fucking reality.
Yeah.
I will say, one other thing that I did appreciate, I won't say it was a favorite thing, but it was noteworthy for me, was just the aspect of, like, we didn't hear the adults speaking as adults unless they were talking to each other. But when they were talking and it was, we were hearing them as the kids were hearing them, and you couldn't understand them at all. But throughout the episode, she slowly starts picking up certain words. So it'll be gibberish and then a word. Like, that's just, it was an aspect that it makes perfect sense because you're getting dropped into something that you literally have no knowledge of, and you have to learn, just through trial and error of picking stuff up. And it's like, that's exactly what it would have been like going to those boarding schools, because you never had, more than likely you didn't have translators or anything.
Yeah.
So it's like, that was quite an interesting take on their experience.
I really liked how they and this sounds stupid and shallow, but I really like how the children spoke to each other in their native language. I don't know if it's real or genuine or not, but it just felt true in the moment. And I love that. I mean, it would be very easy to just have them speak English because it's an overwhelmingly English-speaking audience that's watching this, just to make it easy. These are kids who probably do not speak that native tongue, and so they would have to learn it and, you know, understand inflection of language and stuff. It felt genuine in the moment, and I don't know if it's just because we're sort of filling in the gaps in our adult heads for the atrocities these children are experiencing, or if the actors really did that good of a job. But I believed every fucking syllable that was uttered, and I loved it.
Yeah.
I mean, to your point, that's how it would have been to them, the shock and awe of that. And I thought that they did a beautiful job of presenting a horrible, horrible thing. So
Yeah, absolutely. That's the best way to sum this episode up.
Yeah. Anything else you wanted to cover with this?
No, we definitely
Should we
have
harp
to
on this longer?
I mean, unless you guys just want me to like start fucking crying, like just to kind of finish this off, I think we got it all.
This is good TV. Let's go. Yeah, I agree. All right. Well,
I
thank
think
you
that's the only other place we could take it.
Yeah. I'm interested in knowing, anyone watching this after the fact, were you aware that this? I know you and I, Cameron, had talked about this last review, but if you're fresh coming into this, did you know about this? And if you did you know what it was genuinely like for these people? And do you feel like it felt genuine enough to really hit the resonance with the viewers, like meaningfully? I want to know what you have to say about it. Let us know in the comments below. And then let other people know about that episode and have them watch this amazing series. Not necessarily for that episode, but just because it's that fucking good.
Yeah, no, this is the kind of area or like story material that most shows wouldn't feel confident doing until 5, 6, 7 seasons in.
Yeah,
and the fact that they're just like, yeah, if at all. And this is, you know, fuck it, this is the final run. Let's do this shit. And yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, our culture, our sort of collective zeitgeist culture is very much stay away from shit like this. We need to appeal to the broadest audience. And for a show like this to really say, no, I have a story to tell and I'm going to fucking tell it, it's great. So for that alone, you should watch it. All right, well, thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, remember the evil spelled backwards is live and Catholics. So, well, don't be Catholic, but definitely go out there and be evil.
Yeah, try to avoid being Catholic.
Yeah, and don't fucking hurt kids, people. Come on.
Right? That shouldn't even have to be fucking.
I know, but it does.
Sake.
It really does.